Hey everyone, Trey Mick here, and today we're going to dig into Magnet Ignite, a SaaS triage tool allowing for quick triage of endpoints for a variety of case types. This tool is really aimed especially at aiding forensic service providers who are often called in after an incident has occurred and need to quickly triage the environment they're working in. As I mentioned, Ignite is a SaaS-based tool, so users will buy packages of scans. Now you may be asking yourself what counts as a scan. Anytime you run an agent on an endpoint, that will be considered a scan. What I really like about this model is since Ignite is a cloud-based tool, as a lab manager, I can quickly scale my environments if I get either a large number of endpoints I need to triage very quickly, or if I have several separate investigations kicking off at the same time. To get started, I'm going to log into my Ignite account, which leads me to my case dashboard screen. Here we can see all of my current Ignite cases along with the statuses of each. We can quickly see information like the case number, number of completed acquisitions, and if there's potentially any errors that occur during the acquisition or processing of that evidence. Let's get started by creating a new case. First, we're going to enter our case name. We're going to have the region set as the United States. This is going to be really important, especially for, once again, our service providers who may need to keep data that they're acquiring within a certain country or locality. So with Ignite, you do have the option of capturing memory. One thing to keep in mind though with memory is typically this is going to take much longer time than just collecting things like file log activity, internet activity, live system artifacts, things like that. But we can absolutely collect this, and this is fantastic for you might be working an incident response case, malware, ransomware, things like that, where you want to quickly create an agent that can collect the memory from these affected endpoints. For today, I'm going to go ahead and select file activity, file log. For this incident response, which includes a bunch of artifacts such as prefetch files, remote desktop protocol, scheduled task, Scrum, startup items, user assist, and Windows event logs. I'm also going to include internet activity, some live system artifacts, network activity, definitely some USB removable device activity. I want to see what they've inserted into their system, and any other system activity that might warrant us digging into for this investigation. Optionally, we have the ability to add in keywords. So if there's something you are specifically looking for, or perhaps maybe your client gives you a keyword list, whether it be for an HR investigation or maybe their EDR platform caused an alert on a specific file, you have that ability to add in those keywords for this. But I'm going to leave the keywords off for this case. I'm going to go ahead and hit create new case. Now you have some options here with either download agent or download covert agent. One thing to keep in mind is if you're working a case where maybe the customer of yours does not have a traditional incident response or forensics team, you might need to be working with their IT department, and you might be sending them an email with a list of instructions of what all they need to do. This can include the link that we just copied to our clipboard, where they can come and download that agent. Now you have the option of the agent, and if you just download this one, when they launch that executable on that endpoint, the command prompt will run in the background and you'll be able to see that as it's running. If you don't need to be covert, that's fine. You can also though download the covert agent or send them the direct link to that as well. Now that covert agent, essentially once they run that executable, it will run in the background. The end user will not see anything on their desktop. So maybe you're giving them the agent, they're going to push it via maybe their MDM solution or their EDR tool, and it's going to do the collection on your behalf. Fantastic. You can use that covert option. We can click that link and just show you what that would look like for our end user. So here they would just hit download agent, they would be able to download it, they would get that executable, and then they could push that once again, whether they're using MDM or other tools that they have within their environment that allows for pushing executables. So just something to keep in mind there. Now for this case, as you can see, we haven't started any collections yet. And what's really great about this too is if you have you create your initial agent and you send this agent to your client, they can push this agent to a number of endpoints, and essentially all of those endpoints will then be collected and be able for review within Magnet Ignite. So you only have to create one agent, you can give that to the client, they can deploy it to as many endpoints as they would like, and once that agent is deployed and running, you will start getting evidence prompted within your instance of Ignite. So just something to keep in mind there. I really like that. Now I'm going to go back to my cases. And here you can see we have IR 235. We also have IR with 2022. And let's just take a look at this one real quick. Now here you can see I've already deployed the agent and collected it, and now we are processing, which is great. It's giving me a status update here. On the right hand side, we have review available artifacts, and we also have the export options here. So here you can see we can absolutely download this to a CSV file. This would include just information about the different artifacts that we've collected. We have the collection of that raw memory dump as well. And then we go ahead and create an MFDB file for opening within Axiom. So you can absolutely review your evidence within Ignite itself, or you can just hit the download button and maybe you want to load this into Axiom. So I have a case open. Let's take a look at what that looks like here. So here I have downloaded the MFDB file from Ignite, and we can see it's a memory case. Even though the case is still processing for the live system artifacts, it already finished the acquisition and processing of the memory. So once again, I can start my investigation while Ignite finishes processing the additional evidence. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have collected with Ignite and now looking at within Axiom. So I'm going to go from Case Dashboard over to Artifacts View. And as you can see here, we have our memory with all the different artifacts that we have pulled from this. And perhaps for this case, we are looking for the use of Dropbox on this endpoint. And maybe they're not allowed to have Dropbox installed or use Dropbox in this environment that our client has asked us to investigate. So I can go down to Timeline here, and obviously there's a lot of different ways you can investigate this. But I'm going to do a quick filter on this column looking for Dropbox. And as you can see here, we do have some hits within Dropbox, both within drivers. We have the executables with process times, things being executed here. So it's definitely telling me I'm on the right track here, and that there definitely seems some Dropbox activity within this environment and within this endpoint. Let's go ahead and hop back over into Ignite and see what else we can see. For this, I'm going to click on a different case. So we have HR 5676. And this was actually an agent that I ran on my local endpoint. So this was an agent that I ran on my local endpoint. So you'll see my name here. And as you can see, when I come over to the exports, I have the option of pulling down the zip for the Axiom case file, the collection of that data, as well as the CSV file. The CSV file is really nice to have as well, especially if you need just to provide quick feedback to your clients about information you've pulled or something specific that they're looking for. So this is going to have all the different artifacts that we have collected within Ignite, really broken down into individual zips. This is what that will look like once you download that zip file. So we see there's some Facebook URLs, we have some link files, jump list, and all of these will all just have independent artifacts listed within them. But let's go ahead and jump right back into Ignite. You can absolutely do all the exports and review this evidence outside of Ignite. But one thing that I do really like about Ignite is you can review this directly from the UX here. So I just hit ready for review. I get the basic collection information of what I collected from this endpoint. And on the left-hand side, we can start working down through this list. So maybe removable device activity is something of interest, and USB devices that have been plugged in. So I can select that and see, okay, we've got webcam, we've got a USB hub potentially. There are some disks being plugged in here, so maybe we need to start exploring what those were for this case. We also have things like network activity. So we can get a running list of what was going on within their network. And as you can see here, we've got the Wi-Fi, we have some IP addresses here. As we continue looking, we have file activity, we have a file log, live system artifacts, once again, who was logged on. And as you can see, I was logged in to this console, what those running processes were. That might be important as well, especially if you're working in more of an IR type case. So a lot of good information that you can very quickly and easily identify from just using Ignite's UX here. Maybe once again though, this investigation revolves around Dropbox. So let's take a quick look at Dropbox. And we sure enough do get some hits from Dropbox. We can go file activity, see jump list. Here you can see we do have some hits within Dropbox, web visits, and we can get a running list of those URLs as well. So a very quick and easy way to filter your data for your investigations as you're working them without even having to export anything from Ignite. Thanks for checking out Ignite. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the team. More than happy to answer any questions that you might have. And just to wrap things up, remember, Magnet Ignite is a SaaS-based cloud-hosted product. So it really lets you scale your lab when you need to. It allows you to work with your clients across geographic locations very quickly and easily. So with that, take care and we'll see you next time.